Hey, what's up guys? Rob here, and I'm back with another collection video. For this one I wanted to show you my entire Marvel Cinematic Universe collection. I do own all the films as of right now. In 2019, of course, we get Captain Marvel, Avengers Endgame, and Spider-Man Far From Home. But leading up to those films, I own every single one on Blu-ray, 4K, DVD, different kinds of editions, and I'd like to share them with you. And I've tried to put these in order, when they came out. So, first here we're going to start with, of course, Iron Man, the movie that started it all. This is the Ultimate 2-disc edition with a bunch of features. First Iron Man is fantastic. Out of the Iron Man movies, it's my favorite, of course. I'm a huge Marvel fan as well as DC. I like both. So, you could say I'm a fanboy of both Marvel and DC. Next, The Incredible Hulk. Edward Norton, Liv Tyler, Tim Roth, William Hurt. It's cool because William Hurt, actually makes an appearance, in Civil War. He's also in Infinity War. Basically, the standalone Hulk film that, in my opinion, wasn't really that good. I like it better than Ang Lee's version, but that's not saying much. With Eric Bana. I didn't think Edward Norton played a good Bruce Banner. That's just my opinion. I think Mark Ruffalo kills it as Bruce Banner, aka Hulk. And the final fight between him and the Abomination was horrendous, in my opinion. The CGI looked terrible. But, yeah. This is the DVD version. I have yet to own it on Blu-ray. So, maybe one of these days I'll get it. And we have, of course, Iron Man 2. I don't think Iron Man 2 is as bad as people say. I'm sure they could have done more with, like, Whiplash, with his character. I liked Mickey Rourke. They needed to give, Iron Man more to do in this movie. Besides the stadium scene with the race cars. On the third act, it was kind of lame. It was really short, the final fight. But you got Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow here. And of course, Don Cheadle replaces Terrence Howard as Rhodey. Iron Man 2 on Blu-ray. And we have Thor. Chris Hemsworth, Tom Hiddleston, Anthony Hopkins, Idris Elba, Natalie Portman. I liked the first Thor movie. I actually consider it underrated, in a way. I had fun with it. Hawkeye makes an appearance in this movie. Jeremy Renner. Nothing really special. It's just, I enjoyed it for what it was. Thor is a very complex character. I thought they did a good job. Captain America, the First Avenger. This movie, I think this movie was okay. I don't think it was great. As a whole, I didn't think it was anything special, really. Chris Evans, of course, this was his starting role as Captain America, and I think he was the perfect choice, obviously. Bucky Barnes and Red Skull. Of course, Haley Atwell's in it. Hugo Weaving plays Red Skull. Peggy Carter. Tommy Lee Jones. Out of the Captain America films, I think it's the weakest, but next, The Avengers. I think this movie is phenomenal as a one of the best superhero films ever made. The first Avengers. The first Avengers is groundbreaking, in my opinion. Because you got the guys from their own films coming together. Iron Man's had his own films. Captain America, Thor, Hulk, and even Black Widow. You know, because she didn't have her own film, but she appeared in Iron Man 2, so we were kind of familiar with her. And then Jeremy Renner, of course, like I said, Hawkeye was in Thor. So at least they have been seen before they appear here. So that was nice. The only big change would be Mark Ruffalo, you know, as Hulk. But the Incredible Hulk still is part of the cinematic universe. So technically he did get his own film. So yeah, Marvel's Avengers, fantastic. Iron Man 3. I did not really care for this film at all. There were some things I liked about it. I did not like Guy Pearce's character. I did not like Ben Kingsley's character because it was a fake. Obviously, the Mandarin was fake. Because of course they had that little episode that explains that the Mandarin's still out there after this film. But this was kind of the extremist storyline with the villains and stuff. I do like the dramatic effect and stuff like they added. You know, Shane Black did this. I just don't know. I do like how the fact, you know, after the Battle of New York, it bothers Tony, and like he's had dreams and nightmares about it. So that was cool, but not my favorite. Thor: The Dark World, probably one of the weakest films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You really have to be into this. Everyone pretty much returns, and they're fighting the Dark Elves in this one. I don't know. I just didn't really get into it as much. On a scale, though, it is a bigger film than the first one. But that's not really saying much. Then we start with this. Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Scarlett Johansson looks the best she's ever looked right there. I mean, my God. Chris Evans returns for his third time playing Captain America, because he did in Avengers. And this is the Captain America I like. When the Russos do Captain America, that's the one that he's so different. If you watch him in the Russo brothers versions versus, like, let's say Joss Whedon, or even the first Avenger, he's so different. His strengths are different, and like his abilities, it just seems like the Russos do a better job at grounding Captain America. But the Winter Soldier, you know, Bucky, of course. This is a fantastic movie. This would be considered #1 to a lot of people when it comes to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Here we have Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, this is the Steelbook, which is actually Star-Lord's Walkman. Of course, if you turn it like this, it says Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's got the Awesome Mixtape, Volume 1. And if you turn it up like this, it's got the stop button, play button. Turn it over, it's got the picture of the Guardians there. Guardians of the Galaxy blew me away. It's definitely one of my favorites, for sure. I like the comedy and, you know, how it was funny and all that. A lot of fun. I didn't think I would like it, to be honest. Avengers: Age of Ultron. This movie had some good and bad stuff together. Like, I think it was just okay. Kind of disappointing. I did not like Ultron. I think Ultron was watered down compared to what he was in the comics. Of course, this is the cinematic universe. They can't make everything like the comics, and I don't expect them to. I just thought Ultron wasn't intimidating at all. He just wasn't intimidating. My I want to say the best part, my favorite scene is when Hulk goes crazy in the city, and Iron Man has to stop him using the Hulkbuster. That's like my favorite scene. But the third act of this film, when they're all fighting robots, just kind of seemed like a rehash version of the first movie. Instead of fighting the Chitauri, they're fighting all the Ultron bots. So Vision was cool, though. I like the addition of Vision and Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver even. So here we have Ant-Man, a movie that really surprised me. I love this movie. Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Pena, Michael Douglas as Hank Pym. This film was fantastic. You have the villain Yellow Jacket. I love the fight scenes and the effects and the characters. Paul Rudd plays a great Ant-Man. So here we have Captain America Civil War. Now this was actually going to be called Serpent Society before it was Civil War. But the Russo brothers come back for the fourth time that Chris Evans has portrayed Captain America. And I think this is just as good as Winter Soldier. I mean, you have basically the Avengers in a Captain America film, except for Hulk and Thor. But you have newcomers, Chadwick Boseman, who plays Black Panther. You have Tom Holland, who makes an appearance as Spider-Man, and I love the way they did it. Daniel Bruhl, who plays Zemo. And I thought he was a good villain. A lot of people didn't like him, but he used his head instead of his muscles to defeat the Avengers. And look what he did. He broke them up. So I think that's quite an accomplishment. But yeah, they did a good job with this one. Next, Doctor Strange. Benedict Cumberbatch is Dr. Stephen Strange. Rachel McAdams, Benedict Wong, Tilda Swinton. I actually like this movie. Again, Doctor Strange is a very, I want to say, complex character to work with, and I think they nailed it. I really loved the visuals and the kind of stuff that they do. It reminded me of Inception. A lot of it did. But the kind of the multiple realities and different things they can do, really cool. And that's why, I just loved him in Infinity War. He did such a good job. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. All the Guardians come back with the addition of Kurt Russell and the newcomer Mantis. But Kurt Russell, this is basically the story of Ego the Living Planet, which is Star-Lord's father. And you get to learn a lot more about his background story and stuff. There are elements of this movie that I like even more than the first. I like the music. I don't know, just a really, really cool film. Spider-Man Homecoming, I thought it was good. I don't think this is as good as the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans, though. At least the first two. The first two Spider-Mans, Tobey Maguire ones, I consider the best of the Spider-Mans. This one was good, though. But, Iron Man's in it, Robert Downey Jr. But I do like, I think the best thing about this was, when they added Michael Keaton as Vulture. I think that was a fantastic addition. He played an excellent Vulture, for sure. But to be honest, I think I liked Tom Holland's performance as Spider-Man in Civil War better than here. It just seemed different. I don't know. Maybe it's because it was his own film. I don't know what happened, but I didn't really care for his performance as much as I did in Civil War. Thor Ragnarok. This is a hilarious film. They took the movie in a different direction. Made it kind of like a Guardians of the Galaxy feel to it. You know, Jeff Goldblum's in this, Tessa Thompson, Carl Urban, Mark Ruffalo, you know, Hulk. This kind of explains where these guys have been, you know, since Civil War happened. This movie's a lot of fun. I loved Cate Blanchett as Hela. She was a badass villain. I loved it. But yeah, Thor's new look, and like even Chris Hemsworth said that Thor needed an upgrade. Like they needed to change his character because it was getting boring. And I think Chris Hemsworth was actually pleased with the way they were doing this. So great movie. Here we have Black Panther on Blu-ray. What more can I say about this that hasn't already been said? Michael B. Jordan, you know, a lot of great characters. Andy Serkis. Some people say this movie's overhyped. I never really thought it was hyped to begin with. I just think it was just a well-made film. I mean, that's just it. I don't think... I didn't like it because of the hype. I liked it because it's well made. Especially for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Really enjoyed it. Here we have The Beast. Avengers Infinity War on 4K. This Cinematic Universe edition, this movie was epic. That's in one word. Epic. All these characters, the Russo brothers return. And each character, in my opinion, gets their shine. Some more than others, but I feel like the Russos did a good job with all the, you know, just all the characters they had to deal with. I think they did a good job spacing them out and then bringing them together when they needed to. And of course, the next chapter in this is Avengers Endgame, coming out this year in April, and I cannot wait. Last, we finally get to Ant-Man and the Wasp. This made my top 10 favorite movies of 2018. I just really enjoyed it. I loved Evangeline Lilly, her portrayal as the Wasp. As a really, really cool thing. And then Michelle Pfeiffer, of course, has a bigger part in this as the original Wasp. And of course, Hank, and basically the gang returns. I don't know, it was really cool. I just enjoyed this one. If I had to say, you know, which one was better, the first or second, I think they both have elements that make them good, so I really cannot pick. It's hard. There are a lot of things I like about this one more than the first. There are things in the first that I like more about this, so it's different. So anyway, guys, yeah, that is my entire Marvel Cinematic Universe movie collection. Of course, I own them all, like I said. Yeah, just Marvel is really taking off. I tell you, they are doing some good stuff. And Kevin Feige and all of them, they're doing a good job spacing these movies out and marketing them, and being really creative with stuff. And I'm a huge DC fan. I think Aquaman really steered DC in the right direction. Once that movie comes out, I'll probably do, when I pick it up, I'll probably do my DC movie collection so far and do that one. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. What are some of your favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe films? Like what editions do you like? Because I have a lot of 4K ones when it comes to these movies, and some of these you really do want to see in 4K. Like Avengers Infinity War, you need to see in 4K. Guardians of the Galaxy in 4K. Thor, those type of films you should see in 4K. I mean, even Spider-Man, also see that in 4K. So there are certain ones that stand out more. I don't know why I didn't get Black Panther in 4K. I should have. But anyway, guys, tell me what you think in the comments, and I'd love to hear what you have to say about some of these titles. This is Rob. Hope you're enjoying these collection videos. I'll be back with more, so stay tuned. See you in the next one.